Welcome back to another episode, you guys. Another market update. Today we're talking crypto, we're talking the stock market, and we're talking about the fear that's kind of gripping people right now. It's obviously not great, and I've definitely been through it before, having traded through or just started trading during the COVID crash. But I'm going to help you guys, give you my thoughts on what's happening today and in the markets and kind of how I'm moving forward and approaching things over the next couple weeks. Let's get into cryptocurrency, and this one is always one of my favorites. You might have different views than I do on crypto. I'm no expert, but I look at crypto as something that's deregulated out of the system, right? But right now it's still kind of attached and mirroring what's happening in the system. When people think of the stock market pulling back, they think the crypto market pulls back too, so they take money out, they sell, they panic sell, right? But eventually that's going to decouple and it's going to be totally decentralized and operate in its own way. But for now, well, let's take a look at what happened today. Today, cryptocurrencies tumbled 15%. I shouldn't laugh. It does affect people in serious ways sometimes when they're leveraged in, but 15% down, Ethereum down 20%. This is nothing new. That's the volatility that comes with a new asset class. And I think that people are kind of taking the regulations happening in China. There's calls for it in the US, and they're kind of taking it as face value, which I don't believe is the right way to do it. When I view crypto, I look at something called like the decentralization part. And when you have a sponge, right, or like a putty, and you put it in your hand, what happens to that? It tries to squeeze out your fingers, right? And eventually, with everybody trying to cut down on crypto, it's gonna squeeze out and get out of their fingers, and it's gonna keep finding a way, right? It goes back to the old movie, Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park. Nature finds a way. Crypto will find a way. Okay, trust me, this is a minor blip on the radar for crypto. It's a great opportunity to buy some, in my opinion, if you have some money on the sidelines. Not investment advice, but I'm looking, if I had some cash, I'd be throwing a little butt here and there, tipping my toes back in the water, maybe dollar cost average in on the way down. You have to start seeing as an investor a contrarian belief where if everybody's selling, you have to think about buying. Okay, that's what's happening here, in my opinion, with the crypto markets, and we'll see if that holds true moving forward. The other thing I want to talk about today is the stock market, and some of these headlines are just crazy. Remember, when you're looking at this stuff, this is CNBC, so they're a major reporter for the US and what's going on in the world. They need to sell headlines, they need to make people act a certain way. We've got negative up here, the worst week since 2020, falls deeper into correction. 2 years since COVID, pandemic is worse than anyone imagined. Okay, what are they trying to do? Tumbles here. They're trying to add to the kind of narrative, create this narrative that everything's going down. There's an agenda behind these messages. There are other reasons why the market is selling off, okay? There are legitimate scares about the interest rate hikes. Those have kind of been cleared up. There's some volatility around those left still, but that's one of them. The other one is the 10-year yield for the bonds is going up, okay? And whenever that happens, bonds become a more attractive investment for larger corporations. So they take some risk out of the tech, out of the higher risk, they're not really high risk, but high risk areas, and put it towards bonds just to diversify the portfolio a bit more when they can get that bigger return. So that's also happening here. And it just kills me when I see all these news articles, and you need to pay attention to the news. You have to know what is happening, but you definitely don't need to know and think about all these things as the gospel, okay? You have to do your own research, have your own conclusions. Good companies are still out there. They're just on sale right now if you're a savvy investor with a long time horizon, okay? Don't get caught up in the day-to-day, in the decline. Markets pull back in order to move higher. And the last thing I want to touch on is just the stock market itself. Just go back and do some chart analysis with you guys. We look at the S&P again, and boom, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. There's something called capitulation, which is when everyone just basically throws their hands up in the air and says, screw it. I don't think we're there at this point yet. I don't think we're close to that. We have support here for the S&P at the 427 range. The NASDAQ itself, it's a little bit more of a sharper decline, but again, it's just meeting up with the support in October. It hasn't really moved that far yet. Maybe this is a good buying opportunity. Remains to be seen. Today was OPEX. Lots of volume in the market today. I'm sure if we put the bar up, yeah, big volume bar today, okay? So usually when that happens, and it happened over here too, in March, there was a huge volume jump in March of 2021. We had a nice big correction in the NASDAQ. After that big volume spike, what happened? We started trending back upwards and trending back the other way. Is that going to happen here? Patterns do repeat in the stock market. I can't say for sure, don't know for sure. I'm just going on historical data. If we zoom out on the S&P, let's switch it back over. Let's go to a monthly chart and just zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. That's what people say. Let's look at this. Is this a big deal? Well, since, we're not even in a major bump here. We've got major bumps in 2000. We've got the 2008 pullback. We've got COVID in the middle there. We can see that little bump there. But like right now, we're just scratching the surface. This is a regular pullback right now, right? We're not even getting close to like something that would be like a black swan event like COVID was. I think we're right hovering around that 10% mark. Yeah, 8%, 10%. Those ones happen. 10% happens every year basically. So let's just stop the narrative of that this is the stock market crashing forever. It will recover. It always does, or it has in the past. So the chances are very, very good. And I always joke with other people that if the stock market totally crashes and goes tits up and everything goes to zero, we have bigger problems in the world to deal with than worrying about where our money's invested in the stock market, okay? So take the news with a grain of salt. Take the crypto pullback with a grain of salt. Take the stock pullback with a grain of salt. If you want to invest and go bearish, do it. But in my opinion, just wait it out. Keep some powder on the sidelines. Wait for a good opportunity. Let's find a bottom here and let's bounce back together. And hopefully things turn around into next week. We'll see what happens with some earnings next week, but that could kickstart things. Remains to be seen, but a lot of panic, a lot of fear in the markets. Totally necessary in my opinion. And looking forward to how this is going to change over the next couple weeks.